Story 2. Sandstone quarrying and all the uses of sandstone. How did anybody manage to move those huge blocks to break it up and transport that sandstone to all sorts of places? We said sandstone is, well, the elements are silicon and oxygen. Sand is silicon dioxide, silica contained within it. The sandstone quarries have been there for hundreds of years with hard-working communities near to them, but mostly the quarrying was at its busiest in the late 1800s, and one of the earliest constructions is Halton Castle that dates back to Norman times, so about 900 years ago. And there's a vast number of local buildings like St Mary's in Halton on top of the hill, and St Mary's in West Bank in Widnes, made from this sandstone. The the Runcorn Historical Society has got a spreadsheet, and we've provided a link to that in the teacher's pack. And that shows you the huge numbers of buildings through Cheshire and beyond that are built of this sandstone. In fact, it's not just in Britain. Take a look and see just how far flung some of those buildings made of Runcorn stone are. And I wonder that there's any of Runcorn Hill left, that it's not all been quarried away, that Halton's Castle is still standing there on a hill because it's gone so far. And here's a map again from the Runcorn Historical Society showing just where the quarries were in pink. And that can be compared with a modern Google map. So you can see how those are and where they are and compare with the schools. Quarries needed machinery. People had to be made capable of lifting far heavier blocks of stone than they could lift with their muscles alone. And it's a wonder that people could do it, but they used simple machines. Now, we've put a link in to a video about machines, and there's a demonstration. This is an image from the YouTube video shown on the screen at the moment, where a small effort, the person in white is pulling not hugely hard, but the person with the maroon sleeves is finding it really difficult to separate those two blue poles. So a small effort can pull against a much heavier load. It's a force magnifier, like the pulleys and winches that were used to move heavy loads with much less effort force than the weight of the load being moved. And there's suggestions in the notes for linking quarries with the machines used long before petrol or diesel driven machinery existed. And that probably links well with the technology curriculum in schools as well as science. The coal for the industry in Widnes was brought along the Sankey Canal, Britain's first industrial canal from the St Helens coalfield. Coal for Runcorn came along the Bridgewater Canal from Worsley. Coal is almost all the element carbon. And the employment in the coal mines was harsh. Maybe compare it with the employment in the quarries. Both required a lot of force and long hours of work. Women and children were employed in the coal mines in the early 19th century, but that was banned in 1842. Some different challenges maybe from the quarries. Now, this is an image of a sandstone wall in Runcorn outside All Saints Primary School. There's an inscription on it. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." There are some wonderful walls around Halton. They're wonderful because just pause and look, and you can see that there's not just the inscription there, but there's different sorts of sandstone. There's different masonry styles. Some of the sandstone has weathered more badly than the other parts. In places, you can probably see the layers in the sandstone, and the sand's quite black. In some places, the blackness is washed off by rain. Collecting photographs of building made from the local stones a possibility here for families, and also maybe looking at how well they've weathered. Salt mining was going on in Cheshire, centred on Northwich, Middlewich and Winsford. There was similar hard work down those mines to down the coal mines and in the quarries. Salt came along with Weaver navigation, which was vital to the industry then and is still used now. The Weaver navigation and the Bridgewater Canal appear in Story 9 as well, so look there for more information. Now, history and STEM can have roles together, and the first example included here is about radiocarbon dating, helping archaeologists and historians to find out about how old artifacts are. If we know the age of something that's made of leather, say, we can judge how people lived at different dates in the past. Oh, good grief, they had those shoes in the year 1200, for instance. Norton Priory, which is involved here in this carbon dating, radiocarbon dating, is also involved in a project looking at the skeletons of monks. Paget's disease was common amongst the monks, and looking at the bones of people who lived in the past is helping with a better understanding of the disease today. So there's huge links between history and STEM. Maybe that would be something really positive to look at.